What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, so we are back from Nashville. Everybody's back to their original routine. Cynthia wants to get to the bottom of what else took place after she went to sleep because the ladies all went out to the pool to celebrate Portia's birthday, but she said she went to bed early. I thought I saw Cynthia at some point outside by the pool with the girls, but maybe she did go to bed early and didn't see everything. So one by one, she spoke to the ladies. We see flashes of her speaking to Angela, her speaking to Portia, and majority of the scene was her sitting down with Shamia and Kelly. And it's the same old, you know? Kelly and Shamia had a ball. They were up until 5 a.m., just having a good time, and they were just talking shit. And Angela is talking to Cynthia by saying, I hear my name outside the window. I'm called Big Bird. And then I'm hearing my husband's name. And then I hear Portia say, I should fuck Charles. So when she sits down with Portia, Portia said, I never said that. She said, was it the Henny? You can't blame on the alcohol, girl. You said it. And then she wanted to say, I don't ever want to be known that I'm messing around with somebody's husband. But you are. You are known for messing around with somebody's husband because we saw it all play out on your last season. And your show didn't make it any better. So here it is. And Shamia mentions that Britt was the main one talking shit about Angela, about how he is sleeping around with all these different women, how he has a baby on her. And then Shamia said, I'm going to give Angela her space. So she also received a text message from Angela. And Angela ends it with our morals and values on the line. We're not in a sisterhood like I thought we was. This is some fake ass sisterhood. Now, the way that they made it look as if Shamia was reading a long message, I don't think it was a long message. I feel like if you paid attention, they kept rewinding Shamia reading the message, but then you actually see her recite what was said. So she only was rewounded like twice. So Angela didn't send an essay long message to only Shamia. She probably sent like a 5-sentence message of explaining, I thought you was different. I thought we would have been on a better footing, but now I see how you are. So once Cynthia got all of this update, she said, okay, well, I'm hosting my annual Bailey Q. And she usually does it on the 4th of July, but now she is going to do it for Juneteenth because Juneteenth is a national holiday. So she wants everybody to come, be on their best behavior, and see if we can move forward and not move backwards. We will see. So now we have Kelly. She's putting on another event, and it's for her dog, Cha-Cha. We know she's been through the ringer with Cha-Cha. This is all about Cha-Cha, okay? She has a doggy show, massages, a VIP treatment. I mean, Kelly really goes above and beyond for her dog. And her simple maintenance routine is going to cost well over $1,000. Ma'am, why can't you get a simple trim, a simple shampoo and conditioner? Why you got to have her painted all these different types of colors and have fake eyelashes put on her, jewel on her ears? Like, it's just way too much for a dog. I'm sorry. And I love dogs. I want a dog myself, but I'm not going to do all that for a dog. Britt came, she brought her little dog Mimosa, and Britt didn't see her oldest daughter Chloe. Turns out this is the weekend she's going to her grandparents' house. So Britt informs Kelly about how things have been with her mom moving in, because we know in the beginning of the season, she wanted her mom to sell her house to move in with her when she's getting ready to have a baby. So the process is still going. Her mom's house is now under contract and she will be moving in within the next 45 days. But then we got a flashback that the mom is happy to move in with Britt, but once she has the baby, she's out the door. But it's like, why sell your home then? If you're not going to live permanently with Britt throughout the course of her being pregnant and helping her with the baby, then why sell your home? Where are you going to go after all of that? And Britt, is it your decision you want your mom to stay with you, or did your mom say she wanted to stay with you? Because that just don't make no sense to me. And Britt is confusing me as to what exactly is the main issue with her and her sisters. Because we know that she had to sit down with her other sister, Cher, and they were talking about their issues. I can only recall Britt making it seem as if her sister Cher was jealous that she is married and she's living a happy life. And in that scene, her sister told her, I just want us to have a great relationship. I'm not jealous of your marriage with Mike. I'm telling you. So then we get when she had an insurance company that her sisters were working for her. But then when she met Mike and got engaged, she sold her company and that drew a wedge between them. I'm lost. It sounds like, Britt, once you did what you did, you proved that you can create a successful company, and then you got the attention from a man and he wanted to give you the life you've been waiting for. You dropped everything, sold your business, left your sisters hanging, and lived your life without a care in the world. Britt, you sound like someone who is self-centered. Everything has to be about you. You really don't want to reap the consequence of your actions because it's supposed to be about you anyway, but you're not recognizing that your consequences and your actions have affected other people. But since the whole Kenya thing, because we can't go through an episode without her mentioning Kenya, that her sisters have reached out to come and support her. They've been coming around more. They've been checking in on her. And it's like, okay, all of this is because of Kenya. Nothing that you did, but because Kenya decided to retaliate on what you've done to her is the reason why your sisters came around. It's a reach for me, but something also is telling me your sisters were very much aware of what you were doing in your early 20s, and they weren't shocked about what was revealed. Maybe they were surprised about how it was blasted on this type of public setting. But okay. So they're going to go over to their mother's house and help her pack. And she wants to mend everybody together. They can work out their issues. But knowing that Britt does have issues with her other sister, the two sisters also have their own issues with each other. So they have to mend their issues as well. That's a lot. Too much, too much, too much. And I need to understand the entire backstory. But we're moving on. Then we have Portia. She's heading over to her old house because she can't film at her new house. So she comes in with a very obvious gift to give PJ a dog. To me, I don't know if PJ knew that she wanted a dog. I don't know. To me, it looked like PJ didn't know what to do with this dog. Like, she didn't know, should she hold it? She didn't know if she could touch it. She didn't know if she should say something about it. She just looked so awkward and nervous. But she loves the dog, named the dog Peanut Butter, and I don't know what is in Portia's mind of thinking that this will ease her daughter's thoughts about wanting to have a sibling. Okay. We only got a very quick update about her divorce with Simon. You know, she can't talk about it. They're going through the courts. Once the prenup has been enforced, then the divorce should come later. Now we're talking about the Nashville trip, which was very, very fun. Lauren was there. But Lauren, you make me so mad sometimes. Because she said, I thought that the issue was dropped once I left. But Lauren, why are you making it seem as if the ladies carried an issue after you left when the issue was created right where you were there? But she says she could not partake in continuing on with being happy on this trip because she got a phone call from somebody that's telling her that Dennis did film with Drew. It's all bullshit in my opinion, because you guys are making it sound so bad and so terrible that Dennis filmed with Drew. And it was for a real reason. And Mama Diane wants to be like, I can't defend this, Dennis. I can't defend you. What is there to defend? He didn't do anything wrong. But him cheating on Portia is something you can just roll off your shoulders, right? Okay. I want Portia to go away from me with this because you are making it bigger than what it is. For you to say, I just want Dennis to choose us. Choose me and Pilar. What else has he been doing? He has been choosing Pilar. He's been there. Girl, what is it that you want from this man? He's not your man. He's just your baby daddy. You cannot control what he does in regards to who he gets into business with and who he gets into a personal relationship with. That is not up to you. All you need to know is, can you pick up Pilar? All you need to know is, yeah, I got you on Pilar. That's it. More and more creating an issue and then saying how you don't want to go backwards in regards to y'all being co-parents. Portia, you're the reason why you guys keep going backwards, because you keep on creating an issue, and when you don't get what you want, then you do the most. Portia is a liar within her own right, because right here, right now is us talking about Angela, right? And how Angela did the absolute most on her birthday trip with inviting Drew, but we're done with Drew. I'm talking about how she treated me, because she pretty much want to call me out and saying that she heard me say I said something about her husband when I know I didn't say nothing about her husband. And then she said that I called her Big Bird, which I know I didn't call her Big Bird, but then I hear her stomping down the stairs, boom, 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 and da 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 da. You see Lauren's face? She's like, you didn't call her Big Bird? You right, I did call her Big Bird. I did. See, shit like this. Why lie about you not calling somebody a name, and when you did, you like smiling and be like, yeah, I did, so what? So she wanted to get an explanation out of you, and you ran. When they showed the clip of Angela coming down with checking Portia about what she said about her husband, she was like, you came down here because something I said about Charles? Yeah, and I wanted to know. Portia ran out of there so fast. I'm like, girl, you cannot run from shit that you don't even want to stand on. And you're not even in a position to joke about something like that because we've seen you act on that. Like, you are a dangerous, dangerous, dangerous woman. And then to say, I have nothing to spill about your husband. I have nothing to do with your husband. But you said you should fuck Charles, though. You've been trying to throw little nuggets out there about what you know about Charles. And when she called you out, you ran. Go to hell with me with this. Because then she wants to be like, why can't I have a petty moment? I was enjoying myself. I can't have a petty moment. Girl, your petty moments are getting tired and exhausting, okay? And for you to put everything that you've done on your birthday trip on Angela is crazy as hell. You made a nightmare when you wanted to come down on your final dinner dressed in all black, having a stank-ass attitude with everybody. Girl, good night. And allowing your friends to create a negative narrative about Drew. Girl, moving on. Now we have Shamia. She is at her former surrogate's office so she can meet a potential candidate. And we know it's been a challenge for Shamia, especially dealing with her youngest daughter, Shiloh. But she's doing really well. And this is her second round of IVF, and it's been very challenging. The new surrogate comes in. Her name is Asha. Asha's cute, but I don't know if Asha was prepared to be on camera. And the whole visual of it all, I don't think I felt comfortable. I'm not knocking Shamia being open and honest about the process of wanting to do a surrogate. You really want to push it that you want to give your husband a son. And I feel like it's just too much. It's too much of the need to put a particular gender over your other children. But then there was a quick phone call with Gerald, and he's like, hey, how are you? Are you ready? It's not a test drive for a car. You're putting a baby in this woman to carry for you. Like, this woman's going to put her body on the line for y'all. Can y'all be a bit more sympathetic about who she is? Can you care about who she is? So all Shamia wants is to have a healthy baby. But I just see that Shamia is stressing herself out on trying to complete her family. All for Gerald. I'm not knocking. I know you love your husband, but you're putting your body through too much stress. I think you need to take a break from doing all of this. Your daughter is only 1 year old, okay? Figure out how to handle her health issues and then open that door again. It wouldn't hurt you if you did. You can still enjoy being happy with the family you have right now and still open that door for a later time. It's okay. But I don't know. I just think that she's punishing herself because her body isn't equipped on giving him what he wants. But do what you do, Shamia. I'm rooting for you. And I don't know if she chose her. I haven't seen any announcements. Maybe she'll announce it soon. All I want is a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby for her too. Okay, so we have Angela. She is working out with Charles. Charles is a drill sergeant. He works out every day. And he is working Angela to the bone, okay? Giving this little boot camp session. Angela look good. And I love the fresh face that she has. Because who works out with makeup? But she tells him about what happened in Nashville. And it was for Portia's birthday. And I wanted to invite Drew. Charles was instantly on Portia's side. And was like, why would you do that? That wasn't your place. How dare you? Because I wanted to show my intentions. And I wanted them to come together. Witnessing how Charles was automatically on Portia's side, she says this is what he likes to do. He likes to play devil's advocate. And he's always on the opposing side before he even hears my side or even sees my side. And I get it. But can you show up for me? You're my husband. You're not supposed to be on the outside. And I agree with her. Like, damn, you just don't be riding for Angela at all. So we get to the dinner and pointed out that Britt was speaking for Portia. And Charles said, why would she speak for her? Don't she got a big mouth? And do. And I'm asking her the question as to why did she steal that lady's husband? Charles was like, why would you ask her that? Angela said, it's because it's been out in the streets. Oh, should we listen to the streets? Well, I didn't get my answer. She pretty much told me to kiss her ass at that point. Well, maybe that's why. She didn't want to talk about it no more. So she should have told you to kiss her ass. But Charles, I'm going to say this to you. The whole thing about her dodging this question is because we all saw it play out. Everybody was dissecting the timeline of when her and Simon got together. Because she keeps saying May of 21, and I don't believe it's May of 21. I believe it was earlier. I feel like it was the end of 2020 and in the beginning of 2021. But Angela said, okay, you want to stay on the Porsche wagon? Stay on the Porsche wagon. No, get strapped in. I got more for you. And Charles, you know this. This isn't the first time this question was asked to Portia. This was asked in the beginning by Kelly, and she never answered it. And Portia has been dangling that she knows some things about Charles. This is why. So she talks to him about the night that they were talking a whole lot of shit about her and him. And they mentioned how you were messing with some girl in New York and that you're just easy to fuck. You can fuck everybody. Everybody is so easily able to fuck you. And Portia said, I should fuck him. He said, no, she can't. That's how she did it. The way that he was just so blunt, no, she can't. I'm the like, man, this conversation between the two of them is a clear sign that there is nothing you can say that will break up their union. Because they probably got to understand it. They've been married for 10 years. They know each other. So there's nothing you can say that will rile their feathers. They're not going to take offense to somebody saying something if they don't have proof. If you're going to come with that energy, come with it all the way. And I'm here for it. I can see why Angela rides for her husband. And I can see Charles's personality a little bit more. Because I said it before. There are times where Charles is so mean, but there's probably a side to him that's understanding. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the appeal. I'm seeing it. So she came down to confront them. As soon as I said what I said, Portia ran out of there so fast, and they haven't talked to each other or seen each other since Nashville. And now he knows how his wife is riled up. He said, I can't wait for this. I want a front row seat so he can show her that west side of Chicago. I know that's right, Charles. Big up your wife, okay? So you know your wife will get down when it comes to that. So you definitely be riding for your wife. You just got to get to that moment where he shows it. Okay, I ain't mad at it. They are presenting a united front, okay? Because Angela said it. She said lots of people think that my husband is my soft spot, that I'm easily to get offended by it, but hell no. You can assume anything about me and my husband, and I'm not going to give you no type of reaction. And I love it. Okay, so we get Portia. She really is trying to find anything to film and anything to talk about because she can't really talk about what she was supposed to talk about when she returned this season. And she's having some type of welcome home party for this new au pair that she is going to have live with her and with Dennis. I had already had to deal with this when it came down to Love and Marriage Detroit because Colby wanted to have an au pair to help her with her children. But Portia, do you really need this kind of help? I mean, Pilar is what, 6? She got school. She has a routine. How much help do you really need when it comes to her? What's Diane doing? Dennis is around. So, what? Okay. So, the woman that she is having be an au pair, she's from South Africa, and she's all smiling and happy about it. And then we got Dennis in the confessional. Now, we know Portia is happy to have Dennis next to her. But I don't see how this is give back at Drew because Drew didn't have multiple scenes with Dennis. There was a phone call. There was a video call when she was at his lounge and one scene when she was in the studio. What's the point of this? And when I tell you the chemistry between the two of them, it ain't going nowhere. Portia still loves her some Dennis. So when the au pair arrived, maybe Portia didn't have full permission to have the new au pair to be at her house. So they were trying to form a relationship to get to know her. She said she likes to read. She also has au pairs that are friends of hers. And so she wants to have another talk with Dennis. And you know what else I noticed? Portia talking about she wanted to give Dennis that work because the loyalty that she expects out of him is the most important. But I'm not seeing you read Dennis at all. I'm not seeing you get into his ass at all. But she ain't giving it to him. She's being all soft. She's being all flirty. But you're giving all of that energy to Drew and not him. So she wanted to prevent starting World War III because she could have. Good night. And how everything is supposed to be for their daughter. Okay. She's still going on and on about where their friendship is and how things are supposed to be moving forward. And he's like, are we still talking about Drew? Like, you know how I am, and I find out that you were filming with her on the show. Dennis said he didn't know that he was being filmed. Okay, then we get to the confessional. Then we get in the confessional. He was asked by the producers, why didn't you let her know you were filming on the show? Why did she have to find out behind her back? And I'm like, you can't be this mad when you're sitting next to him in your confessional. How are you mad that he was able to film with Drew, but yet you're using him to film at your old house and in your confessional? You're using the same opportunity that Drew is using. So how are you this upset? So he defended the fact that he didn't know he was being filmed. He had already was going to the studio and the cameras were setting up and then Drew walked in. Could that be a lie or could that not be a lie? I don't know, because if it was a setup for production to film this scene of Drew being in the studio and Dennis just happened to be there, I don't think he has any control of that. But I'm still not seeing how wrong he was in this. I'm still not seeing how wrong Drew was in this, and I honestly don't care. Because he is an executive producer, so he is going to be there in the process of her putting final touches on her album. And he is done with talking about Drew. And that Drew is not even signed with him no more. So there's no point to mention her. I don't know if that's true because he's saying that Portia scared her off. I think she is still connected with Dennis because he did exactly produce her album. He did put everything together for her, even though she did get a record deal. I don't think that their business arrangement is severed. I don't. So Portia want to say that Dennis and Drew needs to be accountable for what they've done. You are the wrong person to talk about accountability when you can't even be accountable that you did to the lady's husband. You can't even be accountable that you lied on Drew, that you lied on Angela. You have not been accountable for any of the things you have said and done. And now you want to say they need to be accountable for what exactly? Then she pulls this out of her ass by saying that Dennis told her that Drew tried to sleep with him. He looked at her like, what the fuck? I ain't never touched that lady. So she's just struggling to find this infamous text message that Dennis said Drew tried to sleep with him. When she gets to the message, she reads a line that said, all you had to do was say yeah. Yeah to what? It sounded like he was responding to something you asked him and he gave you your answer, but it's still taken out of context. It's not explaining what was the original question, what was the original conversation. So there's nothing to gain from this. And he tells her, you're interpreting that very incorrectly. And Portia just flat out lied by saying that this text message proves y'all was having a personal relationship. But I'm still stuck on what does it matter to you? Even if what you just read still has no merit as to how you could be upset because he is not your man and he doesn't have anything to tell you. It's evident that Portia is feeling jealous about the attention Drew is gaining from Dennis, and it's for her album and nothing else. But then again, I'm looking at Portia and her YouTube. The way that she acts so flirty and giggly with him, you can't convince me otherwise that Portia still don't have the hots for Dennis. You can't convince me no otherwise that the outfit choices that Portia wants to wear when it comes to having Dennis at her and Simon's house, doing them mukbangs and shit, and she's wearing these skimpy ass outfits with that ass just jiggling and shit. You can't convince me. And I have a question for you, Portia. How is it gonna work when Dennis is gonna actually start to date somebody? Are you gonna be overbearing and controlling and be all about, what about me and Pilar? Are you gonna be there for Pilar? Because now you have to recognize his boundaries and how you can't just be bothering him whenever you want attention from him. Just like how he's been trying to respect your boundaries of you still being married. But of course, Portia never reciprocates what she's expecting because she's always out for self. You are in no position expecting anything else out of him other than being a father to your child. That's it. That's all. And she's all about, I mean, we're trying to move on with our relationship. We're like brothers and sisters. Come here, brother. Come on, brother. He's like, brother. The fuck? He's like, I'm not accepting that because that is not what we are. And that is not the energy you give Portia. Portia, you can't fuck your brother. You can't dress up in skimpy outfits to get him to look at you and fantasize like you want him to. No, ma'am, that's weird as fuck. And then when he tried to kiss her in the confessional, she jumped up and acted super shocked. Man, you can't convince me they ain't fucking. Moving on. So we got Britt. This whole scene was so confusing, and I don't know what else to say about this. We see Britt and her sister Cher packing up her mom's house, and her grandma is there, and they're just looking through pictures and looking at their memories with their father. They took trips, they had a lot of vacations, and her father built that house for her mom back in 2014, but he didn't even make it the entire year because he passed in 2015. So I can tell it must have been a tough time for living in that house before he could really enjoy it. And Cher talks about, I know we didn't have a lot of homes, but if this was the one home he decided to build for you, why can't this be the home we can always come back to? Why can't this be a safe haven? Britt says in the confessional, yes, that house was originally meant for us to pass down through generations, but Britt says her mom wants to let it go. The mom wants to live her own life. Yeah, they have a lot of memories, but the mom is ready for a new chapter. Here's my thing. Can't y'all buy a whole different property? Can't y'all come together and own a property that can be passed down through generations? Unless y'all are not in the process of affording it. I don't know. That's why I'm wondering, is the mommy in financial ruin? That's why she's selling that house because she can't keep up with it? I don't know. Like, it goes left from this point. Because I'm not sure if I'm watching a reality show or a Tyler Perry movie. Because the sister, Cher, mentions that the mom has been in love with their father since she was 17 and she has not been able to properly move on. But now that he's gone, the mom is ready to live her life. And Cher says, no, mommy wants to go out and be a hoe. Ooh, disrespectful. I would never say that's about my mother. And it's been a good 10 years since their father passed. So, of course, people grieve differently. But maybe there's some want and need that the mom wants to have. And of course, it's like, y'all don't even come around when y'all want to. I don't want to be in this house by myself. I want a different space. And then the other sister, Cher, is looking in the counter for some liquor. And she's like, if you was to come around more often, you would know I don't keep liquor in this house. There's issues between the two of them. Okay? And the sister Cher is going off about, how could you just sell everything that daddy made and daddy built? How could you just sell it? Like, you're getting rid of him. And it was very uncomfortable. And then the mom just going to come out and say, he shouldn't have left me. He left me. Cher said he died. I'm just like, what the hell? Mom, where are you coming from with this? And he didn't leave you. He was sick and he passed away, ma'am. He is gone to glory. Now, of course, everybody is just going through their own range of emotion. And Britt gives us more backstory about how there's always been that sort of tension between Cher and her mom, because whenever they would be at their differences, her father would come in and defend Cher. So I don't know if the mom is resenting that. I don't know if Cher is resenting that. I don't know. Was the father the glue? I don't know. But the beef is so crazy to me. But I'm just sensing there was a certain level of favoritism in this family. Then the older sister, Tierra, calls, and the older sister is definitely keeping her distance to not come around. She didn't want to come by today. It was a no for her. And Cher was crashing out, okay? Because she just yells on the phone at Tierra, why don't you answer my calls? I've had a very hard time dealing with this. The sister is so monotone. Yeah, I know. We all process things differently. Yeah, but this is not fair. You just shut me out like this, and you shouldn't have treated me like this. I was like, what the? I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to take from this. I'm taking as everybody needs to go to therapy. Then Britt starts crying out of nowhere. I'm like, oh, y'all got that trait. where all y'all want is bust out crying, and then y'all just scrambling nonsense that's not coherent and nobody can understand where it's coming from. So Britt said that Sherry took her father's passing the hardest because she's always had her mother to lean on. But now that her safety net is gone, who will she lean on? Well, Britt, you got the mom. And I'm just wondering, like, are you going to split the time with your mom as well as the mom's going to spend enough time with Cher? But I'm with the older sister. Like, I don't have to keep on having my feelings being dragged out like this. I got to keep my mental, keep my space on lock because I ain't got time to be being dragged out by y'all. Throughout all of this, Britt is definitely trying to be peacemaker, but I just want to know, is she only being a peacemaker because it benefits her for having her mom be there for her? Because what is the relationship like between Cher and her mom? Is she present with her and her children? And I want to know, are you going to be selfish when it comes to wanting your mom's attention all on you when it comes to the baby? And then the grandma want to come in to give off her voice of reason by saying, God gonna fix all things, so stop acting like fools. Grandma, I appreciate that, but prayer is not going to fix this. We need intensive therapy. We need to understand where the problems came from and actually work through it. Got it? Thank you. Appreciate it. Now we're going to move on. We get to the Bailey Q in honor of Juneteenth, a national holiday. She wants all the ladies to be in theme, wearing black, red, green, yellow. Who is going to be in theme? Oh, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. A part of her having this Bailey Cube, she also is going to invite a friend of hers who's a prophet to come and do some type of healing, intuitive reading. Sure. Britt arrives first, and she gets her first reading by the prophet, and she tells her to stop putting other people first and put focus on herself and start a new business venture. As far as Britt putting other people first, I feel like Britt has never put people first. I feel like it's been always about her putting everything else in a line for her to be great, for her to be coming out on top. And now she talks about putting a pause on her insurance agency and pursue her loungewear and shape line bare naked. I thought she was undergoing an investigation. How are you putting a pause on your insurance agency if you were undergoing an investigation? Is it putting a pause on your active training course? Because I feel like that would be much more of a believable statement. And you haven't had an active license since 2022. Am I correct? Let me know. Moving on from there. Kelly comes in with all this hype energy. Angela comes in and the prophet does her intuitive healing. And when she goes over to give Angela a hug, she knocks over her glass. Kelly thinks that it's the energy that Angela is bringing. No, it could be the energy that Britt is giving because Britt already had a stank face as soon as Angela walked in. To me, I feel like the prophet was a fake. The prophet was just too hype and eager to have this moment of being so prophetic because she mentions Kelly's marriage and how it was a lot. Kelly went through a depression and she was gifted a car, but the ex was being very vindictive of it. So we got the backstory. Kelly was gifted a G-Wagon on her 10-year anniversary and he went and sold it. What an asshole. But the only person who could have known about this was Britt. Now, Shamia comes in and all of her dashiki realness, okay? She got this dashiki wrap, which was cute. Long ass earrings and this Cleopatra choker necklace and this fitted cap. Shamia, you look cute, but I feel like less is more. I feel like the accessories were a bit too much, especially this choker. You could have just left the choker out, but maybe it fitted with the look. Because she's like, y'all not going to tell me to come on Juneteenth. I'm not going to wear my dashiki. You know my husband is Kenyan, right? So I got to show up and show out. Cool. So when the intuitive healer decided to give Angela her reading, she talks about how her marriage has gotten too comfortable. Her and her husband need a vacation, need to put the spark back on things. And then this is where the prophet lost me. When she talked about, we as women get so consumed within our work and we lose our sexy for our men. Such a fucking pick me. Why does the responsibility falls on the women to keep the spark alive in the marriage? What about the man? Can he keep the spark too? Like, y'all set up women for failure into thinking that she holds all the responsibility of making sure she's keeping her man satisfied. When as much satisfaction he can get in the relationship, he can still go out and cheat. He can still go out and do things he shouldn't be doing. So what's the purpose of me doing everything if he's not going to do anything? Moving on. Angela says, listen, Charles's love language is cleaning up, okay? But they're fine. Yes, marriages has up and downs. You got to keep it reignited. You got to keep the spark. I am aware of that as well. I have been married and with my husband for 10 years. And we do have to keep up the work of making sure we're both feeding off one another with our attraction. I think that just hearing this scene right now, people are going to read too much into it and assume that Angela is unhappy in her marriage. And she's not. She's in a marriage that has up and downs like everybody else. So the intuitive healer talks about how she's feeling the energy of somebody having a Porsche or somebody owning a Porsche. Angela said, I don't own a Porsche. Lapdog over there want to say, okay, I want to be petty. Okay, are you talking about a Porsche or are you talking about Porsche? Porsche. That is not that funny, Shamia. Because knowing that you were pretty much aware and is okay that Portia wants to make a joke about sleeping with somebody's husband, here you want to jump in on the intuitive healer on giving Angela her reading that her husband could have his eye on another woman and not a car. That's not cool. You would not find it funny if somebody intentionally mentioned Gerald in that type of conversation. So the healer tells Shamia that 2025 is going to be her money-making year and that it's important to stay low. While she's getting her reading, you see Britt, Kelly, and Cynthia taking shots like using their hands. Kelly, please stop showing off your dick sucking skills. It's not cute. You can ease up just a little bit. You're doing a little bit too much right now. So she just felt like it was a bit rude for them to be taking shots during her reading, but yet it wasn't rude for you to make a joke about Charles in that way. Okay. So Portia comes in, not in theme. She wore this hot pink two-piece outfit, which was cute. She sat next to Angela. They did say hello. Angela is not giving anything to Portia. Unless you talk about Nashville, she gets nothing from me. And I know now that the healer is on some bullshit because she told Portia that she believes that her and Simon can become friends after the divorce. I'm like, girl, that's a lie right now. He don't want to be friends with her now. He don't want to have nothing to do with her now. And it's given to me that the healer was fed some information by production. It was told to come up with some type of prophetic, intuitive spirit energy to act as if she is just meeting them for the first time and is just knowing everything about them based off of first impression. Good night. Drew finally arrives, and Drew's face card never declined. She looks so gorgeous. It's like it's a flashback of how she looked when she was coming up in the industry. Ooh, beautiful. Before Drew can even sit down and get her reading, Kelly comes out and says, be careful, Drew is an actress. Kelly, the ad-libs, unnecessary. Why are you so hyped? Why? What did Drew do to you? I understand you're trying to be there for Britt and maybe be there for Portia, but you really don't need to. So the healer said, I'm going to talk to Drew in private because I can tell this is something that she doesn't want to share. And I'm not mad because on the after show, Drew explained why she didn't want to express what she felt in that moment with the girls because she doesn't think that they are going to be understanding of what she's going to reveal. They will weaponize what's been saying against her. And I have to agree because she doesn't believe she can trust any of these ladies in this group. And she's not wrong. Maybe the only person she can trust is Angela, not anybody else. Portia, you need to be quiet because you want to say, Drew is so extra because she's happy that would lie in public but tell the truth in private. Just say it all here. Everybody got red. You should get red too. Shut the fuck up, Portia, because you lie in private and you lie in person. To understand this, why is Drew receiving all of this energy when she hasn't done anything to any one of y'all? How can she receive so much hate and feedback of y'all losing y'all trust in her when she ain't done nothing that much? You got Portia right here who will say she'll fuck somebody's husband and is lying that she didn't say it and is avoiding admitting she did steal somebody else's husband. Make it make sense. So Kelly moves to the other seat and asks Angela, how are things been? Because she ain't seen her since Nashville. Angela said, I'm here for the good vibes. That's it. Out of nowhere, Britt wants to have a confrontation with Angela by saying, "You give what you receive." Who are you talking to, ma'am? Listen, if you want to go there, we can go there. So Angela said, "Let's talk about it." Now Britt wants to think she has the ability to address the issue that she thinks Angela have. And Angela's like, "What's my issue? You didn't hear what was said about you? What was said about me?" Because I feel like Britt is taking it too literal that Angela and Charles have issues in their marriage. Thinking that she knows for a fact that Angela and Charles have issues in their marriage. But she's like, "Okay, tell me what you think I know, because the energy you giving me, what's up?" Then she wants to be like, "Can you not read the words that are coming out of my mouth?" Come up with an original line next time, Britt. Because you keep using other one-liners from other places that is not yours. It's a bit too much for me. And Angela said, "Oh, with that big ass mouth, I should be able to read everything." Now Britt said, "You might need to use your mouth more often." She's like, "Oh, girl, I do. Not as much as yours, though, with those stretch marks around it." And Britt, who can't handle it when being read and she can't read back, she wants to stand up and be all combative and be like, "Show me, show me." And here goes Cynthia pulling her back. So, Cynthia, this is your front row seat of witnessing how Britt is reacting when she's in a conversation with other women that she be starting. When she doesn't get her way, she invokes violence. Then Angela hit it with her again. She's like, "Girls, you got miles on your mouth." She's like, "Girl, I'm married. You're a whore." Oh, when I tell y'all, that sent me. Angela was so classy with it. She was so demure, didn't elevate her voice, did not get out of character, sitting effortlessly in that chair. Britt, you're a whore. Point blank whore. 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 And did y'all see Shamia's face? Oh my gosh, Shamia's face was like, "Oh my God. Did that just happen?" It did. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, love it. When Angela hit Britt with her truth, she could not take it. Yes, ma'am. And I feel like it's a projection of what Britt has going on, and she wants to put it off on Angela, thinking that she can tell somebody else about their issues when you don't even recognize yours. Okay. Oh, I cannot. And then she just keeps on going, saying how, "Angela, your husband's not acknowledged you. You've been married for the last 10 years. Girl, the whole world knows what you want to say to me." Okay, what about that baby? If you got receipts, come on, bring the receipts. And then you hear Kelly next to her, hyping her up. I don't know if she was drunk or tipsy. Because she's like, "Yeah, what about that baby?" Kelly, please sit the fuck back. Simmer down. All of this extra hypeness is not necessary. Britt barely got it, okay? Can you allow Britt to fall on her face? You don't got to save her. You're doing a Shamir right now. You don't need to save her. Because the more they keep on saying it, it don't make it real. Now, Shamia said, "If you got receipts saying that my husband got a baby, yeah, that will hurt my feelings." But then I'd be like, "Hey, well, give me the baby because we've been trying to have a baby forever. So, yes, give me the baby." Now, Shamia, I know that maybe this would have been your comeback, but I feel like if this was an actual situation, you wouldn't be so eager to make a joke. Because I don't think you would find it funny if your husband had a baby on you. But for the sake of you trying so desperately to give him another child that's a boy, you would suppress your feelings and be all about raising another child that's not yours. Good night. So I don't know where Cynthia got this cowbell. She starts trying to calm the tension down. Drew comes back in because Drew was away from all of this. She was on the other side enjoying the festivities with other people because, like, I'm trying to protect my peace. I'm trying to protect my energy. But now that everything is calmed down, she did ask Angela, "Is she good? Is she cool?" Angela said, "I'm fine. I'm good. Thank you." All of this was very unnecessary. Y'all did not have to gang up on Angela like that. Even though Portia didn't say nothing, but it was just too much for Britt and Kelly to me. It was just too much of Britt and Kelly right here. Then they wants to ask some trivia questions about the importance of Juneteenth. Then Cynthia was able to get Angela and Portia in the same room, talk out their differences. So Angela said, "When I invited Drew, I felt like you were okay. You understood my intentions. But then once that happened throughout the night, I felt attacked." Portia says, from her point of view, "You ignored my reasoning as to why Drew was not invited." I'm still not going to agree that Portia did not say that Drew wasn't invited, because she didn't. She danced around it, but hey, fine. And we're not even talking about that no more. Me and Drew, we know we got our issues. Let's talk about me and you. Okay, so Angela said, what happened 3 o'clock in the morning? Portia deflected by saying that it was out of pocket, basically, for Angela to be ear hustling on her after party when they were having fun, having good conversations. And then somebody mentioned something about your husband. And then I'm like, yeah, why does Angela keep on bringing up her husband? No. How about you keep on trying to insinuate you know something about her husband? And then Angela said, but you were the one who said you should fuck Charles. Again, Portia that she didn't say it. I heard you say it, and I came down to check you about what you said. For me, the more and more that Portia wants to make it seem as if it was wrong for Angela to not hear what she heard and address what she heard, and was like, you should have been asleep. You weren't supposed to hear it. So you were talking about me behind my back, and when I came down to address it, you wanted to run and escape accountability. Can't even have a real open conversation and address that you did make an inappropriate comment without flipping it and still make it about Angela being the one to call you out for it. See, you don't even want to be held accountable that you shouldn't have said it when you're in no position to make that type of joke. So Cynthia checked in on their conversation, and I don't know how Portia was expecting an apology, because she's saying that Angela said something about your husband, the husband that you're going through a divorce with right now. And I don't even know what Angela said. I honestly don't care what Angela said. Angela gave off saying, I apologize. She just said, she said, I did not mean to offend you, if I'm correct. And that was not my intention. So I didn't hear the full apology, in my opinion. I just know that Portia does not want this to be dragged out, because she knows it's going to put her back in that confrontation of what she doesn't want to address. So they hug, they move forward. I feel like Angela is only moving forward for the sake of letting it go, because she doesn't want this to be a dragged out situation, because it's not going to get reciprocated that Portia said something wrong. She's not going to change her ways. She's not going to admit that she shouldn't have said it. Moving on. Britt is delusional, because she goes outside with Kelly and talk about what happened between her and Angela. She wants to say that Angela is overcompensating what's going on in her marriage. She has some deep-rooted issues that she needs to work through. I'm getting the conclusion that the way you've acted in every single instances that you have created is because of what's been going on with you. Some deep-rooted issues you have going on. You're the one overcompensating, that you need to have all these moments out of nowhere to gain attention, to gain notice, and it's like, girl, sit down. Now, Shamia is now included in this conversation, because she doesn't understand how she could be at fault in this, because she didn't say anything. But Angela tells her, as a married woman, I would think that as her best friend, you should check her about it. Shamia deflects, just like Portia, about, I didn't say it. You guys were going at each other's necks. I'm not justifying what she said, but if she was talking shit and I laughed, she was just talking shit. But it's not my fight. I don't have nothing to do with it. Shamia, even if you laughed at it, that means you are agreeing with what she's saying. I don't care. And to say it's not your fight, but you have jumped in on every single thing that has to do with Portia when it wasn't even necessary for you to jump in. And I agree with Angela. You being a married woman and you really are valuing how you have a great husband, you would not find that type of joke funny. But you think that Portia making a joke about that was funny? And then to backpedal and pussy pop in a handstand like you did, to say that I think laughing is healing. And I do a lot of things to laugh. Girl, you're doing a whole lot to avoid holding somebody accountable that you knew was wrong and you don't want to address it. And I didn't get your relevancy of using your uncle's funeral of the way he dressed and you laughed at it. Not cool, not necessary, because shit like that is not funny. So the way that Shamia danced around to avoid being held accountable, that she did not check Portia when she should have checked her, says a lot about her. And that's why Angela said, I thought differently of you. I thought very highly of you, that you would have addressed your friend and say that, okay, girl, I know that you're having fun right now, but you really don't want this to come back on you. So you shouldn't have said that. Period, point blank. I am so disappointed in Shamia, because the way you danced around taking accountability, and you are just so loyal to Portia, who has not been loyal to you, and based off of what the mid-season trailer is going to give, you're going to really have to be confronted that the relationship you thought you had with Portia was not reciprocated like it should have been. And you're going to be crying in everybody else's arms instead of Portia about your feelings, about how the relationship has really been. Because you're literally following her blindly, thinking that she'll do the same when she won't. And at that point, Angela did not want to have this conversation even further. We're going to agree, disagree. Just know I don't like that shit. I'm not going to respect that shit. So we're just going to move accordingly. So moving forward from there. That's it. A shout out to Angela, MVP for the win again for this episode. She is really carrying this season. She's definitely becoming a fan favorite. And I can't wait for next week, y'all. But that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more. Please stay tuned for my next video. And I'm going to see you guys later. Bye.